Camelot 331 here, and oh my gosh, it's finally happened. I joined a Cigna conference call. Yes, it's that Cigna. It's the healthcare organization. Oh, what a beautiful day this has become. And I'm here to tell you that the conference call was the most boring thing I've ever been a part of in my entire life. More boring than all the conference calls that I did personally. And those were pretty boring because none of those people had any personality. They were all old dudes that couldn't even pronounce Madden. And it's like 6 letters. What's wrong with you? He's rolling over in his grave. But no, I joined this conference call, which ended up being a video call. And one very interesting thing happened in it. And it's pretty unnerving. And I'm going to play that for you here shortly. So before we get into this, make sure you like this video, share it with your boys, comment down below, do all the things that the algorithm loves so your boy might be able to pay his mortgage one day. Because it's late. So real quick, something you guys probably didn't know. Cigna had to pay a $172 million lawsuit. $172 million. Why? Well, no one really talked about this, but I'm here to tell you what happened. It says the Cigna Group, headquartered in Connecticut, has agreed to pay $172 million to resolve allegations that it violated the False Claims Act by submitting and failing to withdraw inaccurate and untruthful diagnosis codes for its Medicare Advantage plan enrollees in order to increase its payments from Medicare. Shocking! The United States alleged that Cigna submitted inaccurate and untruthful patient diagnosis data to CMS in order to inflate payments it received from CMS. This is crazy, man. The United States alleges that for payment years 2014 to 2019, 5 years, Cigna operated a chart review program to which it retrieved medical records from healthcare providers documenting services they had previously rendered to Medicare beneficiaries enrolled in Cigna's plan. Cigna retained diagnosis coders to review those charts to identify all medical conditions that the chart supported and assign the beneficiary diagnosis codes for those conditions. Cigna relied on the results of those charts to submit additional diagnosis codes to CMS that healthcare providers had not reported to obtain additional payments from CMS. However, Cigna's chart reviews also did not substantiate some diagnosis codes that were reported by providers and previously submitted. Hot diggity damn. Thus, the United States alleges that Cigna used the results of its chart reviews to identify instances where Cigna could seek additional payments from CMS, while improperly failing to use those same results when they provided information about instances where Cigna was overpaid. That's called fraud. So I know that was a lot of words, but let me explain basically what happened. So there would be a patient that would file some kind of claim. That claim would say, hey, I have a small disorder here that requires being reimbursed or paid for. And Cigna will be like, also, they have cancer. Give us more money from taxpayers' expense. But basically, they lied about all these diagnoses so they could get more money from the government, which I don't know about you, but I pay for Medicare. And I don't have Medicare, so it's my money and I need it now. But that's the hot water Cigna was in recently, and they just paid the money and they're like, please don't talk about it again. So how does Cigna offset that money? Keep in mind, Cigna made like $160 billion last year or something to that nature. So $170 million isn't actually a lot. Well, they decided to lay off thousands and thousands of employees to offset costs. And this is what's gonna play into the conference call that we're gonna jump on here in a second. So here's the context you need. Cigna moving works to First Source. Recently, Cigna moved a ton of their claims works to First Source, a third-party company based overseas. Okay, keep that in mind. The news was received in early November. This affected tenured employees and even managers who have been with Cigna for 20 years. Everyone was pressured into signing the offer letter with First Source before seeing the benefits package, as they were assured the rates and premiums was comparable. They laid off these people and they got some of them got automatic job offers for another place called First Source. They were forced to accept this offer. And it turns out it wasn't until after the offer letters were already signed that they sent out the benefits package. The rates were almost 3 times that of what they were currently paying with Cigna Insurance. The take-home pay has overall decreased significantly. Awesome. Overall, this was deliberate and deceptive. I'm sure both Cigna and First Sources covered their butts to avoid any legal issues. As a 15-year employee, I feel that we were sold like slaves. The news and the offer were presented days apart with a short time to decide around Thanksgiving. It was either take the job or get no severance and no unemployment, guys. The benefits were supposed to be comparable to Cigna and were discussed later. The wage was a fair offer at 10% higher than Cigna. However, now that the benefit cost was disclosed, that 10% plus more would be used up for health benefits. Cigna don't give a damn. They stole $100 gajillion. I'm just spitballing. What happens if you watching this steals government money? Guess who goes to jail? You. Guess who does it? Billionaires like people on the board at Cigna. Kind of terrifying, but that's just how this works. Let's jump into the conference call, though, because someone asked a question on this conference call literally about this giant layoff, and see how they respond to it. Why is it in .mov? What is this, 2001? Hold on. So we're jumping right into this. By the way, real quick, I'm going to give you a little bit of context. This guy right here on this conference call is going to take a call from someone on the phone lines, and it's a Cigna employee that was just laid off in favor of the First Source move. Check this out.
More personalization and meeting people multimodally in moments that matter. Let's go to the phone lines, please. The questions, operator.
Thank you. As a reminder, please press star 1 to ask a question on the phone line. Our first question comes from Joseph Wright. You may go ahead.
Hello there. My name is Joey. I work for North, and I've been at Cigna for 26 years, and I'm part of the DG team that has just been moved to First Source. And we all feel betrayed, and we just want to know why. If you just hired 2,500 people, why are you getting rid of us?
So the question, they feel betrayed because they were laid off, moved to First Source. They worked there for 26 years, I think he said. And he says, everybody feels betrayed. Why are you hiring 2,500 new people if you just laid us off? Basically, is what's going on.
Please stay on the line because I'm not sure I heard everything.
Now, this is funny. He's going to be like, oh, I didn't understand the question. I didn't hear what you said. And he's just going to move on and never address it on this conference call ever again. I'm not even joking.
Did you say you were moved to as a care source?
No, First Source.
So I'm looking for my colleagues, if any.
He's acting like he has no idea what this even is. This big company move. It's crazy.
Has the facts on this. I don't. Relative to the move, I will commit, if I don't have any colleagues that have the facts, host the conversation to get the facts and come back to you, because you use a powerful word. I think I heard you say betrayed. That's a powerful word, but I don't have the facts to be able to answer your
shocking
question. I'm going to pause for one more moment and look at eyes on the screen and see if anybody has them. I will make sure we'll follow up with you today. Thank you for the courage of asking the question.
We'll make sure we follow up. I'm looking around at my colleagues. I have no idea. Yeah, we're just gonna move on. By the way, later in this call, there's a big summary from a female executive. She does a big rundown of all the questions. A lot of these people do, and they never answer this question. They actually completely jump over it and avoid it every single time. They never answer this question, and they're never going to.
Questions that were asked across the organization. A couple themes I want to leave you with as we wrap up.
I'm going to leave you with a bunch of corporate speak, by the way. Here we go.
In terms of closing thoughts, and you see at the top of this, it says my asks. Those of you who know me, usually I'm not going to forego an opportunity to be with my colleagues without making some asks. So you may say, well, David, on the back end of the thank you, how do you end with the asks? Well, we build our company one day at a time. The first ask, here's three here. The first ask, please ensure that you're holding yourself accountable first and then your teammates accountable second, relative to making sure we're delivering on our promise, driving
just corpo dribble. All of this is corporate dribble.
Change, driving innovation, etc. That's Brian has a really important point. The company's been around 230 years. You can count on a few hands the number of companies that have been around for that duration from that standpoint.
Make sure you hold yourself accountable, unless we just move you to another company. Then when you call in and ask, we're going to ignore you. F yourself.
It's a perpetual environment of constructive change that drives that. Each one of us, 70,000 colleagues, contribute that each and every day. And many of you are in position to know our customers or our stakeholders, our partner needs in a unique, personal way, and that level of change needs to continue to be driven. Point 2, we're about to flip the calendar to December. We need to finish the year with momentum.
Finish.
We talk about this at the end of the year because it's not something we want to take for granted. We need to run through the finish line. For some of our businesses, we're still in the throes of a really active selling season, believe it or not, for January 1. Right?
And it's all back to corporate dribble. When you have concerns, they won't voice their opinions or their solutions to your concerns. They're just going to move on and say, work harder. We expect you to work hard. Even though we're not going to be loyal to you, even though you worked here 26 years, as the caller asked. This is something I experienced at GameStop every time we went to our manager's meeting in Las Vegas. The one year they moved us all to hourly from hourly associates, everybody booed when the CEO came out on stage, or the vice president rather, and said, we all know you have questions about this, and we just want you to know that we work hard for you, and you work for a place of fun. Okay, this is a fun job. You're not working in hard labor, okay? Basically saying we should be grateful that we even work there still. And my regional director said in a later meeting behind closed doors that if you don't want to work here, there's the door. Leave right now. Basically, that was his response to anyone's concerns. And I guarantee you Cigna is having the same conversations with employees that are voicing those kind of grievances. It's disgusting to me. I'll never understand it, and I'm so glad I'm not in a corporate environment, and I never will be again. That's for damn sure. If you're working for Cigna, you reach out to me. Make sure you know what they're capable of, and don't undervalue yourself. I left GameStop and got a job making triple in 2 weeks. Get the hell on it, doggone it. Bye. Yeah.